Manka 2 I saw on TV. I definitely did not go to the theater to watch that. But yeah, this I would say it's more. Texter points out Christy Swanson was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's true. Oh. But she wasn't the only one, right? There was when Sarah Michelle Gellar. Am I getting? Is that right? Was she Buffy in the TV show? So. And Christy was in the movie, maybe, or something. I feel like we had a multiple Buffy situation happening here, but I could be wrong on that. On the show today, let me point out before as we will not exclusively be talking about
but we should.
Bad movies.
But we should.
I mean, we could, but we will not be just exclusively talking about that. Troll 2, worst movie I've ever seen. Not even close. Absolutely, it's a horror show. It's the worst movie, probably the worst movie ever made. Truly, I would struggle to think there's a worse movie that's ever been made in the history of cinema.
Okay,
so that's definitely the worst. Today on the show, you got a nice lineup. Not only, of course, do you have, thank you, Christy. Very thank you, texters. We're getting a lot of clarification. I appreciate that. Got a big Christy Swanson fan listening to the show.
We all have our thing, man.
Early to mid 90s, she was
running that thing.
Yeah. She was it for a certain subset of boys like myself who were into that sort of thing. I was a big fan. It's like that. Excellent work from her. Today on the show, we are going to be busy. 8:00, Mike Wallace from Grind City Media comes on, and he will join us on the program to talk this, that, and the other thing. We're going to talk a little Grizzlies. We'll talk a little NBA playoffs with Mike. It's good to catch up with Mike. Mike's awesome, first of all. But Mike, a lot of people don't know, Mike's been around for a long time, predating Grind City Media. He wrote for the Jackson Clarion Ledger, and he covered Ole Miss. Did you know that, Max Vincent?
Yes.
Now I've got your attention. Max ignores everything except Ole Miss. He's like, as soon as Ole Miss comes, what?
And glutes.
That's not true. I remember going down to Abner's down in Oxford and having a nice lunch with Mike back in 2003 or something, long time ago, when he was doing his thing. And then he moved to Miami, and then worked for Miami Herald and ESPN, and then now he's here. So Mike's got a long, but the story kind of arcs way back to the Memphis area and to the Mid-South long before all this time. So always good to catch back up with Mike again after all these many years. 9:30, Evan Barnes.
Hey.
From the CA, going to wrap up Tiger spring practice and all that stuff, and then talk about Tigers in the NFL draft, what's coming up this summer, and just kind of generally fun stuff with Evan. Evan at 9:30. And Evan's going to be, he's good to go, right? I mean, I know Evan likes to sleep. He's a West Coast guy. He's a West Coast guy.
Not a morning person, man.
So are we gonna make sure are we gonna wake Evan up when we call him?
Probably.
Just dead sleep where he's gonna pop right up. He's gonna have that little kind of Russell Wilson kind of voice going.
I can't imagine Evan with the
fellas. Sorry.
Tigers. They got drafted. It was good. Hey, y'all go to sleep now.
No, Evan, no. We're trying the opposite, buddy. So that's on the show. Many of you have already figured out that you can interact with us on the text line, but for those that have not, let me explain how you do it. You text in 67129. You got that phone, that smartphone that you've got in your hand right now, or the one that's in your pocket that you're burning a hole in your pocket, like, let me check it. What's going on? Well, you know what? When you get that baby out, you shoot us a little text at 67129. If for those of you that have never texted us before, you got to join the text team first. You got to. It's not optional. That's the way it works. Here's how you do it. Text 56JOIN, 56JOIN to 67129. Do it once. That's it. One time. You'll get a confirmation text, and then you're good to go for the life of that phone. So you don't have to do it ever again. No worries. You're locked in. You can save 67129 as a contact at that point, and you can just shoot us texts until you are are blue in the face or blue in the fingers or whatever the text equivalent of that phrase would be, you could do all that. Is that
any other party parts that can be blue with?
Yeah, unfortunately, yes.
Okay.
And that's sad when that happens. But hopefully our listeners aren't experiencing that too much.
All right.
These days. Fingers crossed, guys. You can also call in, of course. The phone lines are not officially open at this point. But Max, at some point in the show, is going to throw open the switch, and the phone lines will be open. And when he opens up the phone lines, buddy, that's when you can call in. And you can call in, you'll talk to Max, and Max is going to screen that call, and he's going to say, "Hey, you ready to talk on the air?" And you better give him a good answer.
Bring that heat.
You better bring that heat, because Max is screening these calls. He's not just going to answer and put you on no matter what, right, Max?
That's right.
There you go. So if you're drunk or asleep,
we definitely want that.
We're going to put you on, but
we definitely want that.
But otherwise, you got to tell Max what you're going to talk about, and we'll figure this thing out. But we'll get you hooked up. No worries. We haven't opened the phone lines yet. He hasn't turned the switch yet, but we will. When we do, chaos will reign. So all that is coming up on the show. Big show today. Please get in touch with us. You can also hit us up on the Twitter. I am at Peter Edmiston on the all social media. He is at Conradicalness. Max is at Maximum Vincent. Or at Max Vincent 95. When are we going to get that camera on, Max?
He can have this one.
Yeah. Just turn that baby around so people can see how irritated he is by this whole thing.
So irritated.
Just irritated. Before we get started on too much stuff, obviously we got the silliness started, which is great. But I got to give a shout out to our guy, frequent listener and occasional contributor. And maybe he's listening now. And if he is, feel free to call. We'll open the phone lines for you. Jarvis Greer celebrates 40 years on the air.
Lord.
At WMC over Channel 5. Our friends at Action News 5 with Joe Birch, who's been there, I think, literally the same amount of time. Within months, I think they were both hired. It's pretty close.
Oh, man.
Joe's been around for almost as long or almost as long. They're very similar time periods. But Jarvis has been there since late April of 1979. I was born just months later. So I have never known a time on planet Earth when Jarvo was not on Channel 5. Which is just and Jarvo looks great. The man does not age.
I didn't know he was.
It's incredible.
I thought he was like late 40s.
Jarvo is early 95 years old.
It just don't crack, man.
It does. That's the saying, right? Black don't crack.
And Jarvis is an example.
Jarvis is an example of that. I don't know.
It's got to be all the shea butter. He's got to be shea butter.
I would love to know. And maybe in Jarvo at some point when he's part of the show, we're going to have to ask him because he'll call in. He may not be listening now, but he'll be listening at some point. And when he calls in, we're going to have to find out what is the regimen.
Yes.
What is the skincare? What's the self-treatment?
Yep.
What are we doing to fight aging? Because the man is like, and here's the other thing about Jarvo. Jarvo is always, as far as I can tell, happy.
Yeah.
I've never known Jarvo to be, even when he's like sort of mad, he's not that mad. I've never known anything like it.
I was at a Grizzlies game behind Jarvo. Grizzlies are catching a whooping.
Uh-huh.
And he's still so happy, urging people to cheer him on. Yeah, that's what we need. We need to come together to win this, folks. We can do it. And he's hyping up the section. It's like, oh, okay. Well, I guess since Jarvo said do it, I'm a cheer now.
That's Jarvo. I mean, I'm telling you that's just Jarvo. That's just the kind of guy that he is. Like it's amazing. His positivity, what he's done. Guy's awesome, and I wanted to make sure that we gave Jarvo his props. I don't know that we know, like, between, Jarvo, of course, and Big Jack Eaton, who I don't know if you were around for Big Jack.
I got here right at the end of Big Jack.
Yeah. I mean, Big Jack, Channel 5 was like, there was so much going on on Channel 5, and it was like, for sports fans, Big Jack, like, just there was so much, like, I don't know, it was the homerism, but just the good nature, the craziness, the poems from Big Jack. It was.
I think I have a book of Big Jack poems.
Great Scott.
One.
Yeah, Great Scott. I write a lot.
Great Scott. I
rhyme a lot. And I think you're thinking, you're right. I think it's rhyme a lot.
Yeah.
Great Scott. I rhyme a lot. Yeah, that's the. But that's in one of our offices. We've got a copy or two floating around. I've seen and read. So, Jarvo taking the mantle of Big Jack on, and just I don't know, man. It's the history of it is amazing. These guys, next level, the attitude, the feel. So I have tremendous appreciation for the amount of work Jarvo, but there's no question. Jarvo could be kicked back in Tahiti right now.
Yes.
With the kind of money that Jarvo's made, Greer Manor, of course, that we've talked about, he calls in from, palatial Greer Estates. Jarvo's, got his lovely wife, is extremely successful executive in her own right. He could be in Tahiti right now, just kick back with a Mai Tai and just be like, forget you clowns in Memphis. I'm gone. I'm out of here. I'm going to just spend this Jarvo money. But he didn't. He hasn't done that. The guy's still grinding.
Yeah.
I see him toting a camera around to these events. Like, Jarvo,
what are you doing?
You're 112 years old. What's happening right now? But he keeps doing it. I mean,
and he's good at it.
He's good at it.
Great at it.
The man has unbelievable charisma. When I grow up, I want to be like Jarvo. And
I grow up, I want to look like Jarvo.
Well, yeah, you look older than Jarvo.
I do. That's sad. That shouldn't be the case.
You do.
He's been a newscaster.
It's not enough shea butter.
No. I've got to just bathe in it.
You got to just
I've
douse
got
yourself.
To just warm it up, get it nice and liquidy because it's solid. Get it liquidy and just Scrooge McDuck dive into it and get all oiled up all over my body. There was a Batman villain who did that, and it helped him shapeshift.
Shea butter?
Not shea butter. Some other type of makeup.
the Moisture King? Is who are we talking about?
I don't know if you know this now. There were no black Batman villains. Don't know if there were black people in Gotham City.
No, there was a black Catwoman.
There was.
Eartha Kitt.
Yep. Oh, she's so. Oh
my God. Mm-hmm.
Yep. You're right.
Jarvo's older than Eartha Kitt. So shout out, long story. Shout out to Jarvo. Jarvo's the best. We love you, buddy. Congratulations. I saw big shout outs from the whole crew over there, and Ron Childers and Joe Birch, and just the I mean, we saw Kim Clark over there for years, and Kim Hendrew. Merle Purvis was there for a while, and now she's over at 13. But great stuff from everybody. Congratulations. Well done, Jarvo. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about last night's games. A little bit of a surprise in Toronto as Philly and Jimmy, don't call me James. My name is Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Buckets, getting after it again. And then a really good game, actually. I don't know how many people are really into that series, Nuggets Blazers, but a really good game one out there. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about some more developments, baby, in the Book Richardson NCAA drama. We got some wiretaps. We got some good quotes. Fun stuff. Somehow, Sean Miller and Will Wade are hanging around, man. They are.
If you didn't come up and touch me,
survivors.
It sure wasn't me.
It wasn't me. They're living it. They're living that right now. So we'll talk about that and a whole lot more as we continue here on The Experience. We are just getting started on this first hour, brought to you by our friends at Ladd's, home of the Spartan Mower. How'd that mowing go for you yesterday?
Oh, it sucked. The motor went out on my mower. So I got it mostly done, so it's good.
You got to go to Ladd's.
I do.
This is like
shout out to Ladd's. I'm coming.
Go see your motor. This is why. And how much of that?
It just started smoking randomly.
It just started smoking.
And I don't want to continue it to ride with the smoking.
No.
All of a sudden it just burns out.
You just leave it right in the middle of the.
No, I pushed it into my garage.
So now what are you gonna do? You going to go to Lads?
Probably so.
How much yard did you get done?
About 80% done.
Okay. Well,
that's done then.
Yeah, that's pretty much done.
That's a B. That's a B minus. We roll with it.
We'll go to Lads, home of the Spartan Mowers, zero turn. Is your mower zero turn right now?
No.
Well, see there. Go.
It's smoking. It's not zero turn.
I mean, this is what you are the prime guy. Go over to Lads just off I-40, Whitten. I know it's a little ways. It's kind of out of your way a little bit, but it's not that far. It's just off it's like 10, 15 minutes from here. It's not far from anywhere because it's right off of I-40. You go in there, you talk to the folks that you let them take care of you. They will take great care of you. They're going to figure out how much you got, your acreage, what you're looking for, and they will get you outfitted with the absolute best. You're going to love it. It's tremendous. It is Lads. And they bring you this hour of the program, and Max is going to go see him because he needs to right now. His other mower's blowing up on him. So you got to get a new one. You can go see them, or if you want golf cars, you want other things like that, they've got you covered. Lads, great people. Check them out just off Whitten Road at I-40. They are Lads. Back after this on The Experience, Real Sports Talk Sports 56, 87.7 FM.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through the midday with Sports 56 Middays. Delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
Upon official review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
We deliver jerseys, funny foam fingers, and everything you need to get ready for the game. But what you really get when FedEx knocks on your door is so much more.
FedEx Delivery.
Game day spirit. What we deliver by delivering.
If you've always thought, hey, I'd look pretty good in a Lexus, well, guess what? Lexus thinks so, too. Lexus is offering you the Golden Opportunity Sales Event. Great offers on all 2019 models and special lease options. Drive in luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by Lexus of Memphis, 2600 Ridgeway, and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2019 flagship LS500. Hey, you look pretty good there. Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event at Lexus of Memphis. Experience amazing.
If you're looking for a new place to watch your favorite team or date night or guys or girls night out, check out Interim Restaurant and Bar. You know, on the corner of Mendenhall and Sanderland, my favorite bar food was the deconstructed lamb shank tamale. The Interim Burger, they melt in your mouth and the fries are incredible. The Oyster Po' Boy, the short rib Philly, they have very generous portions. And get the John Harden hookup. Say my name, John Harden, Sports 56, and get 20% off bar food, 20% off premium well liquor, wine, and beer. Happy hour, 4 to 6, Monday through Thursday. See you at Interim 5040 Sanderland.
Once upon a time, there was a sleepy bear in search of a place to nap. Like the inside of a car. A coupe? Too small. An SUV? Too big. A station wagon? Just right. But as his eyelids began to get heavy. Covered it. September 30th, 2013. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
The Can-Am Spring Fever event is on now with our family of off-road vehicles that are built for this. We're built for seeing the sunrise and for days lasting past sunset. We're built for trails, tasks, and tough times. And we're built to move you through what won't move. So how do you become built for this? By getting to the Spring Fever event at Olive Branch Motorsports, 5656 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and finding a brand new Can-Am off-road vehicle for a $3,000 rebate on select 2018 models for a limited time. Certain restrictions apply, subject to credit approval. See your dealer for details.
Join all the fun at Memphis's newest and most exciting sports bar, Next Level Sports and Cigar Bar, located at 2857 Appling Way, right off Highway 64 between Appling and Germantown Parkway. You'll feel like you've just hit a home run, being able to catch the sports action on the 4 130-inch projection screens, 26 big screens, pool tables, darts, video gaming section, and a cigar room with a large selection of cigars for your taste. Speaking of taste, check out this menu. Mouth-watering appetizers, burgers, and more. Happy hour twice daily from 2 to 4 and 7 to 9. $3 wells, $1 off beers, and $5 wines. And if you want to get rowdy, try out the mechanical bull. It's always a good time at Next Level Sports and Cigar Bar. Next Level Sports and Cigar Bar. Plenty of parking, security, and the best customer service anywhere in the city. The party starts here. Next Level Sports and Cigar Bar. Located right off Highway 64 at 2857 Appling Way between Appling and Germantown Parkway.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Lads. For your zero-turn mower and golf car needs, here once again are Peter and CJ.
Let's kill this love. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Soft Rock Tuesday off to a weird start.
Did not know we were still doing all this.
You started it. You can't start it and stop it.
Well, it can't be the same thing every time.
Every day there's something special.
No.
We are doing this.
I mean, I guess we're doing K-pop
people.
Tuesday.
No.
We're K-popping it up.
No.
Let's get some, what's BTS?
No.
You're not trying to K-pop?
No.
Your kids hadn't discovered that yet?
No.
Just wait for them to discover it.
No.
It's the weirdest stuff.
You want my kids, it's going to be a lot of theme songs of Japanese cartoons. Going to be a lot of that going on. Welcome back to the program. We'll figure out what today's theme is on the fly. I like to let it naturally happen.
I mean, we could just do the soundtrack to Mannequin too. Let's see what hits.
Well, I told you. I mean, the Starship, we build, Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now by Starship is this far and away
that is on there.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes, that is the title song.
Got some Gene Miller. Can't Believe My Eyes. Pick Up the Pieces to My Heart. Ooh. Cindy Valentine did that one.
I don't know who that is, but okay, fair enough.
Casa de Cody.
Don't know.
Meshach Taylor.
Meshach Taylor. That's Meshach Taylor.
There we go. That one.
Meshach.
That's what I said. I said Mesach. You heard me wrong.
Meshach. The guy from Designing Women. Come on, Meshach.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, last night, as we mentioned, a couple games in the old association. Philly evens up the series with Toronto. One game apiece with the win, 94-89. Did not look good in game one, but got a lot better in game two, thanks to James Butler, as Brett Brown called him after the game. Said he was the adult in the gym. And he said, that wasn't Jimmy Butler, that was James Butler. Jimmy comes on later on and says, guys, my name is actually Jimmy. It's not even James. He's like, I'm literally just Jimmy.
My government name is Jimmy.
His government name is Jimmy. It is not, it is literally, as he said, it is literally Jimmy. So that's what the deal is. What is fascinating about this thing, though, is that James Butler, a.k.a. Jimmy Butler, a.k.a. Jimmy Buckets, is indeed the adult in the gym. He was the one, if you watch this game, who took over. There were a lot of stars on the floor, and Kawhi certainly did his part for the Raptors. But amongst, Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, and Marc Gasol, and Pascal Siakam, and Kyle Lowry, and Kawhi Leonard, and on, the guy that was the alpha, and we certainly know Jimmy's not ashamed to just go into a practice and start, picking up third stringers and start saying he runs this. He ran the game last night like it was a Timberwolves practice session, which, that's what they got him for. That's what he's there for. That was a big time performance. Last night by Jimmy Buckets.
Yeah, huge for them. Great for the 76ers to get the series tied up. In the first half, the Raptors could not get a rebound. I don't know what that was about. They were out-rebounded by like 20. And there was a moment right at the end, free throws. The Raptors had just clawed their way back, got it to a respectable margin. I think maybe like 3 points. Second free throw, missed that free throw, and B gets the rebound and gets fouled. And so now they go back to the line to shoot more free throws. And it's like, come on, get a rebound, and hit an open shot. They missed all of the open shots. They don't look good shooting from Danny Green, 0 for 3, wide open, and it's great that the 76ers won. But if Danny Green hits that wide open 3 at the end of the game, wide open, after Lowry just poo-poos the ball away, basically, like we might not be singing Jimmy Butler's praises today.
Yeah, but you just always had the feeling that this was Jimmy's game. I mean, there were several times late when the Raptors threatened to come back, when Kyle Lowry had moments with, and just about every time Jimmy would come down and hit a shot, would do something that he had to do. I don't know what Lowry was thinking, trying to dribble the ball between, I think it was Tobias Harris's legs, with like 30 seconds left, like he was trying to do the old nutmeg. Like what? There's a time and a place, man. Kyle is a grizzled veteran. You gotta know better than that. That was he turned the ball over just being stupid. Like in the last 30 seconds left in the game, what are you doing, man?
I'm glad you brought up grizzled veterans, because we talked about this yesterday with the Spurs not fouling. So in the game, first half, Embiid had picked, not Embiid, was it Harris? Harris had picked up his third foul. JJ Redick is coming to check in. He's like, yo, Harris, you're out. And the coach is yelling at him like, no, go get Jimmy. And JJ turns like, yo, my man's got 3 fouls, coach. It's like, oh my gosh, that IQ, that little bit of awareness, JJ would have fouled in that situation.
No question.
But back to the game. First off, Kyle Lowry I'm waiting on Kyle Lowry the game 1 Kyle Lowry to show up. That bad Kyle Lowry that we tend to get. He last night he went out there, dropped 20 on him. Like, he's playing really well in this series. Why he chose to try and do that nonsense, I'm not sure. They've got to figure out, the Raptors do, that bench. Have they scored 10 points this series?
They scored 15 total points this series.
Gosh.
But they didn't play. I mean, they didn't play much. In this game, especially, like 40 minutes for Siakam, 42 for Kawhi, 42 for Lowry, 35 for Mark, which is a high number for Marc Gasol, and 32 for Danny Green. So, but Norm Powell came in and was awful. I mean, again, the numbers are obvious. This is a game where plus minuses are kind of revealing. They tell you the story. When Powell's a minus 17 off the bench, Ibaka's a minus 12, Van Vliet is a minus 18 off the bench. In a 5-point game. I mean, these guys, they came in and the bottom dropped out when any or all of them were in the game. And that's why you saw such major minutes for the starters with Raptors. We'll see how that plays out in game 3. I don't think the Raptors need to panic. I do think there were some nice adjustments made by Brett Brown from a coaching standpoint on how he dealt with the threat, for example, of Pascal Siakam. And they were able to defend Siakam a little bit differently, and that forced him to take a lot more shots. You remember in game 1, the Kawhi and Siakam combined for 74 points on 76 shots. Or something like that. No, there were 38 shots. I'm sorry, 38 shots, 74 points on 38 shots. Last night it was 56 points on 49 shots. Much different right there. And Kawhi was still excellent. 35 points, 13 and 24 from the field, but it was Siakam who struggled. He took 25 shots and only made 9. That's 36% shooting on that many shots. Pretty inefficient night for him. The other thing that the Raptors are going to have to deal with, and as much as I talked about, earlier this week, Marc Gasol, this is a great spot for Mark, and it is. But this is the same thing that the Grizzlies had to deal with Mark. It's a little bit easier because there are a lot more people that can score and will shoot with Mark around. But Mark only taken 6 shots. And in the fourth quarter, just not even thinking about taking a shot. Passed up open threes. If this sound familiar to Grizzlies fans.
Vaguely.
It's stuff that Mark just does, and it's more acceptable with a team like the Raptors because there are a lot more people that can be that offensive outlet. But he's still got to play that role out there. They can't let him just be undefended. You can't sag that far off of Mark and open up. It opens up a lot more opportunities for Philly to squeeze in and stop Siakam and Leonard if you can just leave Mark and know that he's not really going to be an offensive threat. They're going to have to find that middle ground for Mark again. He needs to get in the 8 to 10 shot range, most likely, especially in a game like this, that the offense really isn't cooking and you're not feeling it in the same way. Yeah, some of those shots Siakam ended up taking were ones that Mark probably should have taken before, kind of forced Siakam into some bad looks. So keep an eye on that going forward. It's one that Mark he needs to get better in that regard. That said, he was still a plus in the game. He was +7, second highest total behind Danny Green. And Danny Green missed several wide open threes late in the game. I mean, wide open looks. So, the Raptors could have won this game.
Yeah. Yeah, Danny Green.
It was 90-89. I mean, Danny Green had a couple, So he just missed. You can't ask for better looks than he had.
3 points, 1 for 8 shooting, plus 14 in the plus minus. So Danny Green played a good game. He just didn't hit any of the threes. And from what I saw, all of them were wide open. All of them, it wasn't a guy close.
Yep.
So this is, while if you're the 76ers, you should feel, okay, we got this now. We did what we wanted to do. We stole a game. Now we got the home court. You're feeling confident. You're feeling good. If you're the Raptors, you should still feel good about your chances in this series. You can say, hey, listen, our bench still hasn't come to life yet. We shot 27% from 3. We missed some uncharacteristically open shots. We've got some adjustments to make for Siakam specifically, but we're still good. We still feel like we're in control of this series.
We will see. I think both teams should be pretty confident about their possibilities at this point. Sixers really needed to get this back. Joel Embiid after the game saying that he was sick.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear his quote?
Mm-mm.
I can't play it for you on the air, unfortunately. Did you see Embiid's quote?
No, I did not.
He was asked about how he wasn't feeling well and he didn't have a lot of energy, and he said because he's 2 of 7 for 12 points.
Right.
Again, the Sixers won a game where he's 2 of 7.
Mm-hmm.
And he says in his Joel Embiid, accent, if you've ever had the let's say poops.
Oh.
But he said it, a little more explicitly.
Oh.
He said, if you've ever had the poops, you know how I feel.
Ever had the chicks? Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's
okay.
right. Watch yourself. Watch yourself, counselor. The replay again.
The 76ers won with Embiid going for 12 and Ben Simmons taking only 6 shots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Simmons and Embiid combined to go 5 of 13 for 18 points. Again, that tells you how quickly this has become Jimmy Butler's team. I mean, Jimmy is the alpha of alphas. Like, he comes in and just takes the thing over. And if you told me, you said, Embiid and Simmons are going to combine for 18 points. Well, no, there's no way they're going to win that game. But no, they won, and they found a way to do it. James Ennis had more points than Embiid or Simmons. I mean, again, I would not have expected.
James freaking Ennis.
Greg Monroe. Greg Monroe played a really important role early in this game. Greg Monroe played good minutes in this game out of nowhere. Former Raptor in a Raptor revenge game for Greg Monroe. It's personal for Greg Monroe. So yeah, man, the Sixers found a formula. We'll see if they can continue to do it. I wouldn't be too panicky if I were the Raptors. I think they're still okay in this series, but if they can get Jimmy and Ben and Joel all clicking at the same time, and I mean only 2 of 8 from 3 for JJ Redick. I mean they left a lot of points on the table, and still won this game. So both teams I think can take a lot of confidence from what they've seen in the first 2 games. That's why this has all the makings of a 7-game series going forward. We'll take a break. We'll come back and continue here hour number 1 of the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt and Max Vincent and all of you when we return here. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
The Press Box with Keith Parker and Elliot Wender. Weekday mornings at 6 on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Liberty Mutual Insurance presents and Doug.
Is that your pet emu?
He's my partner, Limu. And we're here to tell you that Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
So is he only an emu because it rhymes with Limu, as in Liberty Mutual?
Well, I wouldn't.
So this is just a clever way to get people to remember Liberty Mutual, huh?
Kinda.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Equal housing insurer. State laws apply.
If you're like me, you want the bottom line. No fluff, no frills. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Bensdorf Realtors. I've been selling real estate a long time, and I found that sellers don't want tall tales or promises. They want results. I always tell people to talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers to find out what they think about your home and the price. But more importantly, what are they going to do for you? And make sure and let me be one of them. Find out how my highly successful strategic marketing program with the Shell Bucks option can mean the difference in whether you sit or sell. Will I buy your home? No. But with my help in preparation, pre-marketing, presentation, and proper pricing, someone will. And often my listings sell quickly at good prices. So if you or someone you know is thinking of selling, find out why people often say, when you want the job done, call Shell Dunn. That's Shell Dunn Rosengarten at memphisrelocate.com or 682-1868. Remember, 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now.
Sundays and Mondays are special at the Butcher Shop, celebrating over 35 years of serving the Mid-South by giving a big thank you to you, their loyal customers. You can come in, relax, watch your favorite games, and enjoy hand-cut steaks along with a premium bar. Sunday and Monday nights from 5 until 8:30, you can get select entrees for $25. That includes the salad, baked potato, and bread, and you don't have to pick one, you get all 3. Some of those entrees are 10-ounce New York strip steak, slow-roasted prime rib, Atlantic salmon with dill sauce, marinated grilled chicken breast, grilled boneless pork chops, and crab stuffed shrimp. Plus, all appetizers and desserts are 20% off. Don't forget, Hamburger Friday every Friday from 11 to 2. It's the best. The Butcher Shop, always a Memphis tradition. Call 901-757-4244, 901-757-4244 for more information, or just stop in at 107 South Germantown Parkway in Cordova.
Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Lads for your zero-turn mower and golf car needs. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun. I say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling,
that's one of my favorite songs right here. One of my favorite songs of all time.
Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's all
Beautiful
right.
You know who this is? Oh boy.
No clue at all.
That hurts me. That physically hurts me.
I apologize. I do not do this show to hurt people. I don't. But I have no clue.
I feel like
who
you
this
just
is.
ripped my heart out and just squished it like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that was a fatality.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Those Max was showing me the new fatalities for the new Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they are.
The graphics have improved.
No. Yes.
Well, that's what I mean. They were always very gruesome, but now you
Yes.
can see a lot more of the
Oh my gosh.
gruesomeness. Yeah.
But that was the Beatles.
The Beatles.
Oh, that's who that was.
The Lads from Liverpool, my friend.
You could have given me a million guesses, and not one of them would have been.
You would not have gotten to the Beatles in a million guesses.
No.
I think that's wrong. I think at some point in a million guesses, you
No.
would have gotten to the Beatles.
No. I can name a
Guess
million
950,000. You would have been like, you know what? Maybe that's the Beatles. I've gone through 949,999 other bands, and I've not said the Beatles. That seems weird. Maybe I should just
like
say the
Cash
Beatles.
Money Millionaires.
is
that what it is? Is that Birdman?
Was
I
that
heard
Silk the Shocker? Was that Silk the Shocker? Was that Little Tweety Bird or whatever that guy? I mean, yeah, you would have gotten. I think you would have gotten there. I think you would have gotten there before 900,000 or so. So, in any event,
I don't think so.
That's the Beatles, man. Come on.
I mean, okay, I thought we had this conversation. I thought we established. I've never heard a Beatles song like all the way through. The Middays had a Beatles rejoin, if I'm not mistaken, and we played some Beatles one time also. But yeah, no Beatles song.
I mean, this is listen, everyone's got.
I mean, the Beatles aren't the Beach Boys. Get out of here.
What? What does that mean?
Beach Boys are better than the Beatles.
You're making it worse. You're making it a lot worse. Beach Boys are a fine group. They don't hold a candle to the Beatles. Not even a tiny candle.
They hold a flashlight to them.
They're
killing them out here.
Do you know a Beach Boys song?
California Girls. Yeah. Thought you had one there. You thought you checkmated me. Nope.
And you think that's better than the Beatles? That's funny. That is funny. Texters at 67129. Please just help.
In Kokomo Beach Boy song?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Muppets did a version of that, and it was exquisite.
You think that Aruba, Jamaica, Ooh, I Want to Take You is a lyric that's going to compete with the Beatles?
I mean, maybe not that one, but maybe to Bermuda, Bahama. Come on, Pretty Mama.
Come on, Pretty Mama.
Yes.
Key Largo, Montego, Baby, Why Don't We Go?
To the Kokomo.
We'll get there fast and we'll take it slow. I mean,
yes.
Yeah, that's where we want to go.
Song.
I mean, it does that song makes me want to sip a Mai Tai and like kick back and like Jarvo in Tahiti, but that's not exactly on par with one of the greatest musical bands in the history of mankind and one of the most influential groups in rock and roll, certainly. And others as well. There's, like I said, normally I would say that everyone's opinion is valid and counts, but in this case, your opinion is wrong. And so,
I'm just saying.
I mean, I hate to put it that way, but there's really when you
Beach Boys. I almost said Beastie Boys. Beach Boys.
I mean, there's a classic debate between the Beatles and the Rolling Stones in terms of like influence and all that. There's never been a debate, as far as I'm concerned, between the Beatles and the Beach Boys.
We're putting them in there. We're putting in the Beach Boys.
That would be
Beach Boys, Rolling Stones, and the Beatles.
It would be like that. That's like Michael Jordan against like OJ Mayo. That's probably disrespectful to Beach Boys. That's like Michael Jordan versus like Glenn Rice. You know, like a good solid. You got some memories of Glenn Rice, some good stuff he did, but you come on. You're talking about Michael Jordan.
I'm just saying, Glenn Rice did some good things.
Yeah, that's true. No one is ever saying like, "Oh, Glenn Rice is better than Michael Jordan." If you said that, you'd be rightly run out of whatever building you were in at that point in time, whatever room you were in. They'd make you leave, and they'd be right to do it. And I mean, start defaming the Beatles too much.
I'm not defaming them. I'm just saying,
it's defamatory.
Beach Boys got that knock.
Defamatory. You've got to get more Beatles in your life. They're very good.
I'll try. Yeah. From what I've heard, though, not very impressed. Just not impressed by what the Beatles have to bring.
It's level of disrespect.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful. No disrespect.
But you are. You're not trying to, but you are.
No disrespect to Ringo and Tito and the rest of the Beatle Five or whatever. But
the Beatle Five.
What was that government name? Was it just the Beatles?
Just the Beatles.
Okay. Yeah, no disrespect.
John,
Ringo,
Paul, George, Ringo.
Oh, it was only 4 of them?
That's it.
I thought I could have sworn there were 5. Okay.
There was a 5th Beatle, Pete Best, did a long story, and they didn't. But no, they're the 4 you need to worry about.
Oh, okay.
Those 4.
All right.
Unbelievable.
With the bowl cuts.
They didn't always have the bowl cuts. They had all kinds of different cuts. They cut across generations, spectrums, music. It was different sorts of music. They went, early on, they had the kind of the bubblegum pop sort of rock, the early era Beatles, and then they got more serious and got into the weird psychedelic nonsense and the craziness that like all that stuff was. They went through generations, then they each went their own ways and they had their own stuff, and they a more influential group there probably has never been.
Outside of the Beach Boys. Texting in 67129, First Bank text lines. How long do we have to listen to this CJ nonsense?
Thank you.
I'm done. I'm out. Texters are upset.
Thank you, Texter.
I'm out.
67129. Keep sending that kind of stuff in. We have to let CJ know what the deal is. We have to open the door. CJ we need to understand where this is.
Listen, I joke with the Beatles a little bit. I understand that they are a great group.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but you guys are way wiser than I am when it comes to this, so I'll just rock with it. I'll bop with it. Okay, they're a great group. Everybody says they're good.
There you go.
You got it.
There you go. Okay, so.
But at my house, we play Beach Boys.
That's not true. There's no way you play Beach Boys.
Oh, we play it every Sunday.
I love the Beach Boys. I'm a big Beach Boys fan. They got great stuff. There's a certain mood I'm in. I'm tremendous. But come on, man. Driving. Folks are gonna. My phone is like hot with all the texts I'm getting right now. The hot. I think it's hot. It's about to melt. People are texting me like, "What is happening right now?"
I'm just saying. Like, come over to this side. You know how many number one hits the Beach Boys had, by the way?
I don't care.
I don't know, but I'm just saying.
How many?
I don't know.
Oh. I really thought you were gonna hit me with something there.
I don't know.
You really set that up. You really set that up as if you were gonna hit me with some next level information. You know how many number one hits the Beach Boys had? Me neither. Well, let me know, because I don't know. I can't. Who care about the number one hits?
They're in the Pet Sounds Hall of Fame.
Pet Sounds was their album.
Ah.
If they're not in their own albums Hall of Fame now, then frankly, I don't know what to tell you.
I thought it was just like some sounds that pets make, put in the Hall of Fame. So Pet Sounds is in the Hall of Fame.
Their album? Yeah, that's a great album. Phenomenal album. Okay. Beach Boys. Number one hits, they had 4.
Yep.
I Get Around, Kokomo, Good Vibrations, Help Me Rhonda. Great songs, all. Beatles, 17 number one hits. I mean, what are we doing? Like I said, I probably overrated the Beach Boys calling them Glenn Rice.
Texted in more like Tom Brady versus Ryan Leaf. I'm not even a fan. I'm a Grateful Dead fan.
Thank you. Beatles are a million times bigger than Beach Boys. Thank you. Goodness gracious.
Somebody's with me though. Texted in with you, CJ. Beatles, yawn.
That's fine. I'm not. You can. I mean, you can be wrong if you want. That's no problem. I just don't be talking about objectively the Beach Boys or not. Don't even hold a candle to the Beatles. You can say whether you might not love the Beatles. That's fine. But come on, this is where we get into the real slog here. This is terrible. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. I don't know if Mike Wallace wants to weigh in on that. Probably not. We're gonna probably stick with Grizzly / NBA stuff with Mike. But if he wants to weigh in, he can on the Beatles. Mike's got interesting musical taste as well, so maybe we'll hit him with that. But Mike Wallace from Grind City Media, he is with us when we bring you hour number 2 after this break. Peter and CJ with you on The Experience, Real Sports Talk Sports 56, 87.7 FM.
When you think about James Davis, you think custom fit. You know about Stan Shirts. That's the company that revolutionized custom fit. You take 3 measurements and a week later, you get the perfect shirt. It starts at $98. I've gotten several. My neck fits correctly. And they've added big and tall this spring to go along with everybody else. And that's the only place you can get them. So they did the same thing with suits. James Davis is now doing custom fit suits starting at only $695. And you've got 150 different fabrics to choose from. Besides custom fit, well, James Davis is the home of performance fabrics. Those Paul Battendley suits are still hot and still 2 for $795. Regularly $595 a piece, and they come in classic or slim fit. They have performance fabrics in shirts and shorts and pants. You'll love the 5-pocket slacks. They move with you. James Davis Menswear in the Laurelwood Shopping Center, now celebrating spring.
Our long national nightmare is over.
What are you talking about now?
Baseball is back.
Oh, honestly, I had no idea where you're going with that, but I know where you're going now.
That's right. I'm going to Central Barbecue. What says America more than baseball and barbecue? It's 2 of the greatest things about this country, and they go perfectly together.
So I'm not being patriotic if I don't get some Central Barbecue to enjoy while watching a baseball game?
That's exactly right, my friend. Show everyone just how much you love this great nation by grabbing some Central Barbecue and cheering for your favorite team.
I wouldn't want people thinking I'm not a proud American.
And that's why you're coming with me to get some Central Barbecue. That and I forgot my wallet.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area
in any condition. And yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Gun enthusiasts in the Mid-South know all about guns and ammo at 3615 Summer and 577 Goodman Road, Suite 4 at the corner of Goodman and Elmore in South Haven, because they carry the largest selection of both guns and ammo in the area. They are authorized dealers of Colt, Benelli, CZ, Smith & Wesson, Glock, Ruger, Sig Sauer, Vergara, and a lot more. If you or someone you know is looking for something for self-defense, competition, hunting, or just something that goes boom, then get to Guns and Ammo, 3615 Summer in Memphis and 577 Goodman Road, Suite 4 at the corner of Goodman and Elmore in South Haven.
Millennium Paint and Body Works in Horn Lake is a full collision repair facility offering paint, body, frame, and mechanical services. They can also help you with towing, glass, and paintless dent removal services. Let's say you've been in an accident. Now what? If you aren't, they can help you get back on the road as soon as possible. And did you know that you, not your insurance company, has the right to choose your repair facility? Millennium Paint and Body Works in Horn Lake. Call 662-280-2022. Their certified technicians have over 150 years of experience, and they understand that you drive home their reputation.
The Can-Am Spring Fever event is on now with our family of off-road vehicles that are built for this. We're built for seeing the sunrise and for days lasting past sunset. Built for trails, tasks, and tough times. And we're built to move you through what won't move. So how do you become built for this? By getting to the Spring Fever event at Olive Branch Motorsports, 5656 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and finding a brand new Can-Am off-road vehicle for a $3,000 rebate on select 2018 models for a limited time. Certain restrictions apply, subject to credit approval. See your dealer for details.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 87.7 FM, as well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app, and at home, tell Alexa or Google to play Sports 56. If it's happening in the world of sports, we've got it covered. Wherever you are, stay tuned to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studios, Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and WPGFLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurts. This hour is brought to you by Schrader Orthopedic and Stem Cell Treatment Center, specializing in stem cell treatment for your neck, back, hips, knees, shoulders, and autoimmune diseases. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Welcome back, hour number 2. This is not the Beatles of the experience now. I know you're. I like how you rock it out though. I like you getting into it.
Like, oh, this is Beatles. This is great.
No, this is Boston.
Oh, okay.
I think. Pretty sure it's Boston. Yeah. I was very confident. Now I was like, wait a second. I'm like, well, yeah. More than a feeling. It's a good song. Not the Beatles, but it's a good song. That's CJ and Peter. Texter describes CJ as a breath of fresh air.
Damn right I am.
I agree with that.
Thank you, Texter.
That was me texting in, by the way.
Oh, good grief.
No, actually, if I texted in, it would have been far less complimentary. But I can just tell you to your face what the deal is. He's Max Vincent on the other side of the glass. Welcome back to the program. It is a pretty nice Tuesday morning out there right now, I've got to say. Temperatures hovering right around the 65-ish degree mark. Somewhere in there. There is a chance of showers today, although not a particularly major one. I would not change your schedule around or do anything crazy as a result of it, but it is out there, and I want to let you know that there is that possibility. So we shall see. Hour number 1, we talked about some of the games last night. We talked about our friend Jarvo. 40 years. Unbelievable. Jarvo, 40 years. Wow. I mean, they haven't been alive for 40 years. And
he was around for the Beatles' first number 1 hit.
He was. Jarvo was one of the original Beatles. It was John, Paul, George, and Jarvo. And So we gave shouts out to Jarvo, and as I promised you, and we give you what you promise. My friend Michael Wallace, who's indeed all of our friends, joins us now. Grind City Media's own Mike Wallace, formerly ESPN, formerly the Jackson Clarion Ledger, covering Ole Miss back in the day. And Mike, can you believe Jarvo's been around for 40 years on Channel 5?
Hey, I couldn't believe that number 40 seems, it seems like such a enormous number, man. And now that I'm in my mid 40s, I'm like, I'm a little shy about it. But that's congratulations to Jarvo, man. That dude ages well, and I hope that when I get 40 years into my career, I'm a little over halfway there, that I can still do it as fabulous as he's doing his, man. And you know what? That texter was right. Let me go back. Let's back up for a minute. CJ, you do bring a breath of fresh air to the show, man. I love the energy that you guys have in the mornings. And I listen to you guys every morning when I'm dropping my kids off. So it's a good deal. I'm proud of the show, man. Keep doing what you guys are doing.
I appreciate it. What's your moisturizing regime? Because that's what I want to know. Like, what is Jarvis using? That's not regular cocoa butter, man.
That's some pink oil moisturizer from back in the day. That's what that is.
It's gotta be.
I think he bathes in it.
Yes, too.
You got that big block. You got that big block of like the yellow.
That's the African shea butter.
The shea butter, right? I think he just melts that down and just kind of coats himself in it. And then he just breaks the seal every night, and then he comes out porcelain smooth. You know what I mean? It's
and then on top of that, he's got the Billy D. Williams mustache.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? He's got the Colt 45 mustache. You know what I'm saying?
And he stuck with it.
Man, we love you, Jarvis. We love you, man.
But see, that's the thing. He kept it right through. He kept it when it was in, when it was out, back in. He just he hung through. He said, "I'm sticking this thing out. This is how it is." I try, when I typically have like a beard or like something like that, but when I shaved my beard, I kept a mustache to see like what it would. And no. I look like I should be on some kind of a watch list of some sort when that happens.
Oh man.
So Mike, first of all, glad you're with us. Thank you for the kind words.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate it, man.
Mike's awesome, and you've been. So what have you been like? What have you been up to now? You guys have been a little busy. You got some realignment over in the Grizzlies offices. I saw you, and we chatted about it a few weeks ago over talking to the folks in charge. Jason Wexler, now president of the team. Zach Kleiman, now kind of the day-to-day head of basketball operations. But you've got Rich Cho, Glenn Grunwald, and now Tayshaun Prince has been promoted and pushed to a little bit of a higher role in that revamped front office. What's your take on what you've seen so far, and how has that realignment affected the day-to-day over on Beale Street?
I think what it does more than anything, and this is just from my view of it, I'm not really on the inside of the day-to-day decisions that go into that. I'm sort of an observer that does it and looks at it and analyzes it, pretty much just like the rest of you guys do. But for the most part, to me, it looks like my takeaway is this. They removed a lot of the mystery. They removed a lot of the speculation about who's in charge of what decision and who's doing this and who's doing that. It's really a top-down, button-down structure now. There's some transparency. You know exactly what the structure is going to be like as it goes into the process of evaluating drafts, as it evaluates free agency. We know there's no mystery. Did Chris Wallace make this move, or did John Hollinger do this, or did Ed do this? I mean, it's going to be top down from Zach Kleiman at the head of it to Tayshaun Prince and Rich Cho on another level, and then Glenn Grunwald, and these guys are going to work together. I think it was key that they brought in two outside sort of experienced guys. One who's been out on the West Coast and also worked for a long time in Charlotte. Another guy who's been in New York and has been sort of at the epicenter of the sport for a long time. To be sort of in those senior major advisory roles to two young up and coming 30-something guys who, in Tayshaun, an NBA champion player who's made the transition into front office management, and also to Zach Kleiman, who, yes, he gets the lawyer tag because he was smart enough to get through law school and go to Duke and all of that. But Peter, you were in there with me and some of the interviews he's done. This guy's a basketball fan who used his law background to sort of get an entryway into the career that he's always wanted. So everyone's lined up with the positions that they wanted, and now we got to see if it's going to work. And only time will tell if that happens.
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Peter.
No, I was going to say he's certainly not the only guy that's got a legal background that has ended up, doing that. There are many guys around the league in that executive role that have done that, including Rich Cho, who joins the Grizzlies, and Kleiman was an intern under Cho during that legal thing, and actually kind of created his own position, just kind of sold himself to Cho at the time, traveling on his own dime over to Charlotte to do stuff for him, and doing stuff that to let you know that he was very serious about it, in spite of the fact that he knew he was going to go off into a high-powered law firm right out of the gate and all that stuff. The guy was still working, hours and hours and hours, not only for free, but was actually paying to do it, which that certainly tells you how serious the guy was about getting that basketball knowledge.
Yeah, no question about it, man. I think that was one of the more fascinating stories about Zach, and Zach isn't a guy that's going to go out of his way to come and initiate a conversation and open up about his background. But I thought that, in all the interviews that I've heard him do, and this is his first time sort of being sort of a public face that puts himself out front like that. And I think the more that, and I've told him this, so I'm not speaking out of turn here, the more that, he can sort of share who he is and remove some of that mystique and some of that mystery about his personality, I think that's going to help. Because, again, when he talked about, being on the south side of Chicago, I got relatives on the south side of Chicago, and so I can relate to that. And, it's certain things that people, growing up being at Game 7 of the Cubs World Series, there's a lot of people who relate to the Cubs in this region. And so he's a relatable guy. And I think that he's just, because he's so meticulous in his role and so, focused on getting things done from an execution standpoint, that we lose sight of the personality that he has. And I think once he brings that out a little bit more, and we see who he is and what he's about, then I think that people are going to really give him a chance. Because, look, when a guy ascends to the position that he has, as well as Tayshaun's 39 years old, I think. I don't even think Tayshaun's 40 yet. But when guys ascend to these kind of executive vice president and vice president of basketball operation roles at that kind of age, there's a lot of energy, and they're doing a lot of things right. And a lot of people are making sacrifices to give them a chance to be in these positions. And I think they're ready for it. So, I hope for them, for their sake, that it works out, because I think they will bring, just like your show, I think there's a new energy and a new focus in that front office. And again, you have to draft right, because there have been some draft issues and some draft mistakes. There's been some unfortunate bad breaks in free agency and, some misfires there. And you got a lot of things to sort out with this roster right now. So that's when the real grunt work of basketball operations begins. And we'll see how these guys tackle those challenges ahead.
Well, a couple of those challenges, you brought up the draft and free agency, but Coach,